This scene is based off the cartoon Batman animated series that I grew up watching as a kid. There's the iconic opening scene that has a very noir look to it, which I drew inspiration from and tried to capture a portion of Gotham, specifically the bank that explodes and the GCPD police department. Starting with the sky, the Batman animated series show is known for Gotham having a blood red sky. I reused the plates from the Lego Batman Gotham City set to give this scene that iconic backdrop. This giant moon piece from the Nightmare Before Christmas set I've reused in several MOCs, and I love how versatile this Lego element is. Looking at it, I think it could even pass for a sun if you put it against a blue sky. Great piece. For the clouds, I used a combination of plates and wedges to give it that abstract shape and layered it to give the clouds more texture. I also included the iconic police blimps you see in the opening of the show, and these parts also came from the Lego Batman Gotham City set. I have some smaller police blimps in the distance as well as some lightning bolts. The most well-known opening scene, of course, is when Batman is standing on the rooftop with the giant bat signal in the background and lightning flashing. I designed this building with some bracket pieces that would allow me to position Batman against the backdrop. Since the platform is so wide, I can also position other characters, and in this scene, I chose to have a police officer chasing after Two-Face. Another common depiction of the show is showing the Gotham buildings with yellow windows to imply that the light is on. I played around with different window shapes, window spacing, window size to create these background buildings, which I really think enhance the scene, and it just makes it look more urban and like it's actually a big city, even though there's only 2 brick-built buildings. I also wanted to show some buildings more in the front and some more in the back, so I overlapped them to give it more of a full populated look. I made sure to include some chimneys and smoke coming out to add more visual interest in the sky and some pop of color. Also included in the backdrop is a reference to Catwoman, who I have lurking on the rooftop with her whip, and she's stealing a diamond. She's also accompanied by her cat. Starting with the police department, I made sure to line up the bat signal with the trail of light leading up into the sky, just to give it more of a realistic look, like it's shining from the bat signal. And of course, no Gotham Police Department would be complete without the bat signal on the roof and Commissioner Gordon. He's known for always wearing a brown trench coat, and this figure does have the trench coat printed on the minifigure, but I decided to make one out of paper for him so he can have that collar flaring out. If you have a standard hole punch, it's very easy to make capes, coats, ponchos for your figures, since the hole punch will fit their arms and the studs where you would attach the clothing. I wish Lego provided more cloth pieces for minifigures, since I think it really elevates the look. Moving on to the rest of the roof, I built a little entrance leading to the roof that's secured with a passcode. I added some piping and just tried to make the roof a little bit of an industrial feel with some things you might find on a roof. I have Barbara dressed up as a cop talking to a rookie police officer as they wait for Batman. He's holding a radio, since cops always communicate via radio. To the side of the building, I included a fire escape, some more yellow windows, and some villains making their escape. There's the Riddler trying to sneak off, and a prisoner making off with the keys to his cell. This is an alleyway, so for decoration, I added a little bit of trash to make the scene more grimy. As for the front of the police department, I wanted to keep the look very smooth and clean since the cartoon looks very simple. There's not much detail in the buildings, so I avoided masonry brick and wanted to stick with that simple look like the cartoon. I did add some detailing to the architecture, but I tried to keep it as subtle as possible. Trying to capture that time period was also important to me, so I wanted the police department to look more dated. So I added a Roman numeral clock and these lamps at the front as well, and made the police officers wear more of that old school police uniform. I also included a phone booth, which is pretty much extinct today, but I felt like adding something like that would give you a better sense of the time period. Inside the phone booth, I positioned Alfred Pennyworth, Batman's butler, making a phone call. We have Alfred's car parked out front. I chose this car for its vintage look, and it's a car that originally came in a retired Indiana Jones set. I just felt like it also fit the time period. This scene shows the Joker getting arrested. There's a few scenes in the cartoon where you see the Joker wearing a purple trench coat, so I wanted to recreate that look and paired it with his fedora hat. Little details like dressing the minifigures to match the time period, I think really immerse you in the era. He's got some handcuffs on, and I'm just really happy with how this minifigure paper trench coat came out. Up in the sky floating, I have Harley Quinn coming down to save the Joker. Since she's so in love with him, I figured it makes sense to have her doing something crazy to rescue her Mr. J. I color-coded the balloons to match her favorite colors: red, white, and black. A few years back, LEGO released a jetpack similar to this, but for the Joker, and I decided to recreate it for Harley and even gave her a coattail out of paper. I colored it half black and half red to match with her outfit. There's some flames coming out of the jetpack, and she's holding some dynamite ready to explode the police station and take off with the Joker. Right in the center, I have the official LEGO Batman Animated Series Batmobile, and I'm so happy they made this in blue since there's already so many black Batmobiles that I feel like this one stands out. I think this car is already retired. To the right, I really wanted to include a bridge somehow and just experiment with arches, and was able to create this double archway, which I think gives it a creepy, dark atmosphere. It's still smooth looking without much detail on the walls of the building like the show. Since there isn't much texture emphasis in the cartoon, I wanted to focus more on shape for visual interest, so it basically leads to the back of the bank, possibly a parking space. On the bridge, I have Mr. Freeze wanting to shoot at the Batmobile, and he's holding one of those ice guns. Getting this rooftop scene was so important because it's the scene you see at the beginning of every episode to the show. In the show, the two gangsters are dressed in long coats with a fedora, so for each one, I made them black coats. They're holding some money they are robbing and a gun as they panic at the sight of Batman following after them. I have Batman positioned up high, ready to confront the thugs. He's holding his grapple gun that helped him get up to the roof. As for the front of the bank, I rewatched the opening scene several times to try and get the look as accurate as I could, and wanted to show the bank as it explodes by using a combination of different flame pieces. For minor decoration, I used a broken fire hydrant, some gargoyles, a lamp, and just a very basic bench out front. As for the street, I made some light poles showing the different traffic lights. I had some printed pieces that aren't official Lego for the street signs, and also included a monitor for the walking signal. This police car out front I got from a different brick building company called Lumi Bricks, and the cool thing about this car is that it lights up. I did do some alterations to the car to try and not make it look so futuristic, since I wanted it to fit the scene better, but it was hard since this model has wires for the lights. And that about sums up this Batman Animated Series MOC. I had a blast making this model, and I hope you enjoy watching this tour of my little slice of Gotham City. Make sure to subscribe if you'd like to see more of my future MOCs. With how expensive Lego has gotten, MOC building with the parts I have and just reusing the pieces is what I'm doing now to keep enjoying the hobby. I hope this inspires you to build something of your own. Thanks for watching, and bye for now.